Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today we've got a Warhammer animation review. We're going to be looking at the Hammer and Bolter, the second episode that was revealed, Bound for Greatness. This episode is available to go be watched on Warhammer TV now. It's one of the 3 episodes alongside Death's Hand and Old Baali. And let's get talking a little bit about it in a second. First of all, I want to say that I managed to track down some credits for this on the internet, so I thought GW don't show them, so I wanted to put the credits up and give all these people the credit they deserve for working on the project, and just allow you to all see who has worked on this and go and give them some congrats and just give them the recognition I feel they deserve. So the credits here are all on screen. I'm not going to say them all just because there's a bunch of names I'm probably going to absolutely butcher in that list, but there's a bunch of fantastic people. I know some of them have sometimes commented on stuff on the channel and have been vocal on Twitter and other sources talking about their projects and talking about them. I couldn't, however, track down a list of voice actors at this current point in time. I'm hoping that we can get a list of voice actors going so that we can realize who is doing what. It'd be really great to be able to give those people the credit they deserve. But with that said, I'm glad we can at least find some of this. I've now started to realize a couple of names in this, and there's a couple of repeat people. I assume this may be the very same team that has worked on all the Hammer and Bolter episodes. I'm not that for sure. I'm going to go back and have a look and check that. But this is the credits that I could find, at least for the time being, for Bound to Greatness. So with that out of the way, fantastic job to all the people in these credits. You've done an amazing job, so congrats to every single one of you that is in these credits. But let's get cracking on and start the review proper. And so let's talk a little bit about the story. I'll say straight up, first of all, I think this is the most interesting story out of any of the Hammer and Bolter episodes. This is the story that really, I think, gives us the most grimdark setting that is the Imperium of Man in Warhammer 40,000. We've got a cool action scene, and we got to see like some cool characters in fight scenes in Death's Hand, and Old Baali was a fantastic story about a legend we all know in Warhammer 40,000. This story, however, I feel was the most interesting just because it gave us that look into like the dark and deep corners of the Imperium and the Warhammer 40,000 universe. This gave us a look at things we don't read about in the books. I liken this a lot to, there is a heresy novel as well that they go through, where they read, and it talks about how they sort of go through the town. You get to discover Terra and all the dark sides of Terra and all that in this heresy novel. I'm forgetting the name of it, but it is a really fun novel that shows you sides of the Imperium you might not have otherwise thought or seen about. But anyway, this story takes a place on an Imperial world. And you've got these preachers, as you see here, who are spreading the gospel of the Emperor to mankind in these great leading sermons out to the men and women and children and anything else of the Imperium out in the streets. Now, however, our story, more than about these preachers, takes place in the corners of this particular world. In fact, in one particular library. Now, the libraries are filled, and they're so grimdark and so full of like this mysterious and, I guess, cult-like attitude, where these adepts are sort of not allowed to speak, not allowed to doubt, they're not allowed to do anything. They just stand there and count books all day long, every day, eating this gruel, counting books, sleeping on a stone slab. It's just this monotonous day-to-day routine that just sums up the Imperium so well. Now, the story here is sort of the part where, what if in these corners where they've tried to eradicate all thoughts and all doubt in the Imperium and its culture, that they've tried to eradicate all sort of taint within their world and their little bubble of the world, that what if this is the most dangerous place you could be because you have no protection? What if this is where corruption can actually spread? And that is the story we follow in Bound for Greatness. I won't say much more than that because it is an absolutely fantastic animation, and honestly, I think out of the 3 Hammer and Bolter episodes, I like this one the most. This took a little bit to get started and took a little bit for me to get in, but once it was finished, it was everything 40k about it. It was such a good story. I really want to see more like this than anything else. This was awesome. And so, positives and negatives of that though, like I said, it's a really fun story. It just shows those deep dark corners of the Imperium. It shows us how terrible life really is inside the Imperium. I mean, this is just such a horrible life. Sleeping on a stone slab, you wake up, eat some gruel that's probably reprocessed dead humans at some point. If you know a little bit of history on the Imperium, it's not particularly nice. And it just shows you how terrible and boring and, I guess, monotonous life within this vast cog working machine that is the Imperium is. It's not a nice place at all. And while I found this really enthralling because I know a little bit about the 40,000 Millennium, I can see the negative in this particular episode. If there are lots of these ones won't grip newer viewers as well as, say, something like Old Baelai or Death's Hand will. Death's Hand does it by showing you all the action scenes and you really get that cool look at that, while Old Baelai tells you a grand story of a major player within the setting, and major players, I guess, within the setting. But this one perhaps is not going to be the most popular for those who aren't as familiar. I've seen, a few people that I've shown the 3 episodes to. This is definitely a lot of people who don't know Warhammer's least favourite episode of anything on the channel, on Warhammer TV. But I think for actual passionate 40k fans and for Warhammer fans in general, this is going to be one of the more popular episodes. So there's that to consider. Like, we can't have a whole series of this because then no one is going to get invested on getting into it that is new. But, these episodes do a lot for fans of the universe that already have that extensive knowledge on it, because it's going to be so much fun to just go see and really witness those deep, dark, gritty corners that you really want to know about. But what were your thoughts of Hammer and Bolter Bound for Greatness? I'd love to know all your thoughts and all your ideas about this sort of episode in the series. I mean, like I said, this is the most interesting episode in the series just because of what it presents for the world, but also it's interesting because how would newer people into the setting feel about it? How do you, if you are a more knowledgeable 40k fan, someone who's more involved in the setting already, feel about this episode? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Let us know in the comments below how you felt about this episode. Which one of your favourite as well, now that we've done all 3 reviews for Hammer and Bolter so far. Which one has been your favourite so far out of the 3? I think this one takes the cake for me. It's definitely between this and Death's Hand, I think. Definitely my top 2. Baelai was great, but it definitely is my least favourite. But let us know in the comments below. Well, thank you for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And while you're at it, if you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fine community here at Sinful Gaming, you can do so by coming and joining our Discord, of which there is a link in the description of the video to go and join. Also, if you'd like to help support the channel in another way, you can do so either by Patreon, YouTube members, or by going and purchasing some merch on our Teespring store. You can find the links to all 3 in the description of the video, once again, to Patreon, YouTube members, and to our merch store on Teespring. But also, we'd like to give a special shout out to everyone who helps support the channel via Patreon and YouTube members. So, thank you to our patrons Christian Weir, James, Soren, Chaos Spawn, AJC, Kenny Lowell, Outer and Shop First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, Tim Newman, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, MJ, and Dynat226. And a special thank you as well to our YouTube members Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Steve T, The Real Zeop, Chris Wallace, Turai12, Vinny, Lock Lorick, Matt Mollin, Becca Kinski Groupie, The Johnny84, and El Mapache. Thank you as well, a special thanks especially to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel. An absolute legend of a person. And then thank you as well to the legend that is Xmorphic. He does so much amazing work in the background of our Discord server, making sure everything works and looks nice and pretty there for us all to enjoy. So that's enough said from me though. Thank you all for watching. Once again, stay safe everyone, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.